Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're doing the mid-October love check-in for the sign of Leo. Alright, we're going to get right into it, Leo. I've already been shuffling, meditating on your deck for a while, so we're going to get right into cutting your deck and getting into the Celtic Cross spread, simplified version that I'm going to be using today. And this is for anybody who's looking at their love life, areas in their love life. Now, this reading is not going to resonate with all Leos, all right? And if your situation is completely different, then go ahead, disregard, okay? At the center, we have Six of Pentacles, covered by the World. At the top, in your conscious foreground, we have Ten of Pentacles, and underneath, we have, in the subconscious, Five of Cups. You've just come out of a Knight of Swords energy and you're going into Chariot. All right, so bottom of the deck we have Nine of Pentacles. So this mid-month period seems to be, there seems to be a running theme in the collective about really concerning money, career, and how it's impacting your love life. So let's get right into it, all right, guys? First of all, Nine of Pentacles did come out in the center of the reading for Aries yesterday. Nine of Pentacles talks about very ambitious person who has achieved a lot of wealth, a lot of abundance. They've taken very good care of themselves. But oftentimes, Nine of Pentacles energy alienates individuals from love and relationships and friendships, right? That single-minded ambition can seem to keep you apart from closer relationships. Hence, this person is in the garden of their abundance alone. And this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just to say that you've certainly sacrificed. If you're resonating with this energy, it's a feeling of perhaps sacrificing deeper connections and deeper relationships for the sake of a career goal or a wanting to achieve a certain level of success, right? And oftentimes that does necessitate going at it alone, because not everybody can follow where you lead, especially if you're very successful or if you're famous, right? So let's get right into it. At the center of the reading, we have Six of Pentacles covered by the World energy. So Six of Pentacles talks about finding a balance between your abundance and your charity, right? How much do you have and how much you want to give, and striking a good balance between the two, right? Not being a miser, and also at the same time not being taken for granted or being overly sort of generous, right? It's a perfect balance. And oftentimes Six of Pentacles can indicate a period in life where you may have previous not had the finances to be as charitable as you had desired, or you may have been living a life where you had really been holding on to your finances, your pennies, you know, like a Four of Pentacles energy, right? But here we're talking about finally understanding that the true joy of any abundance or money that you acquire is in sharing it, is in giving. The joy of receiving is in giving, right? And so this is a good balance to strike. Certainly when you're in a relationship, it's covered by the World card. The World card certainly indicates that right now, at this point, everything is really working in your favor. Everything is aligning. You feel very much like you are where you should be in life, right? Just move this over a little so you can see the cross card, right? There we go. And so with the World card, yeah, we talk about, you know, almost feeling as though everything is working in your favor, right? There's oftentimes when you're working with World energy, it could be coincidences, seeming coincidences that seem to resolve obstacles. It just seems as though encounters with people that turn out to be fortuitous, or, you know, that turn out to be, you know, good for whatever goal or project or path you're on right now. It just seems as though all of the energies in the universe are kind of like working in your favor. oftentimes with the World card, you also realize that you are exactly where you want to be in life, right? And when we realize that, when a lot of times when we're happy and really, really happy and satisfied exactly where we are in life at this time in our life, it's that satisfaction that oftentimes will allow us to also finally accept some of the hurdles that we have overcome, or perhaps some of the trials and tribulations we have come through to get to this point in life. Because when you have that feeling, you understand that this is a culmination of everything that you've done and everything that you've been through. And so you no longer begrudge the bad things you've been through, because you understand the need for those things. You no longer begrudge perhaps some of the difficult times you've gone through, or you no longer feel sort of resentful about them, because you begin to understand that all of this, the culmination of all of this has allowed you to be exactly where you want to be right now. And where you're at right now, you are so happy and satisfied with that. Now, in your foreconscious, you have 10 of Pentacles. So there's a lot of abundance and success, Leo. All right, this is for you Leos who have, you've reached a certain level of success, and you've also reached a certain level of success with your love connection, because 10 of Pentacles indicates the type of material abundance that can, that is suited to supporting a family, that is suited to supporting the growth of a lineage, right? And so for those of you who are with a partner or married or perhaps have children, this 10 of Pentacles indicates that right now you're in a really, really good spot financially to be able to take care of them, to be able to progress the family forward, right? However, in the back of your mind, interestingly enough, you have a 5 of Cups. And 5 of Cups is a worry, right? 5 is a power struggle number. Well, 5 of Cups, it's an internal power struggle where you really are struggling with yourself to let go of the past and look to the future. But that can be, that can be difficult at times, right? Sometimes it's easier to, I'm going to say, wallow in a way in the trauma or the difficulties of the past, because you know them. You know you can handle them. Even though it's difficult, it's a past experience. So for some of us, sort of staying in that past experience is easier than looking to the future, because looking to the future in the 2 upright cups, which indicate, which are indications of a possible good connection in the future, despite the bad connections perhaps in the past, or the shallow relationships of the past. Looking to the future oftentimes is scarier for individuals because it's unknown, right? Because you don't know what kind of tragedy may strike, and that can be overwhelming, right? And so oftentimes people, you know, this internal struggle that you have, oftentimes people will almost lose that struggle and continue to sort of like focus on past hurts and past traumas, kind of continue to make themselves in a way miserable or anxious more than anything, kind of worrying and having anxiety that, you know, this is going to happen, or this is how it's always going to be. I'm never going to have a decent relationship. I'm never going to find somebody that I want to connect with on the right level. A lot of this is about your intention and your focus. So interestingly enough, Leo, some of you are having some worries about that. It could be also that because finances and money and everything seem to be working, it's almost as if like Murphy's Law, right? You're a little bit worried about Murphy's Law. Everything is coming in well. You feel like you're at the perfect place in your life. You feel like you're doing what you should be doing. The money is coming in to support the family, all right? For those of you who have a family, you have children, it's coming in. The abundance is here, but yet you worry, right? Oftentimes this can happen just because, you know, I tend to do this myself, actually. I'm not a Leo. I have a Leo moon, but I'm a Sagittarius. Sometimes when things are going well, you know, everything is going well, it's almost like, uh-oh, I'm waiting. You know, something must go wrong at some point. You know what I mean? This is normal anxieties that we go through, Leo. And so for some of you, you're a little bit worried about that this mid-month. There's no indication to worry about it necessarily. Knight of Swords is an energy that you've just come out of. So Knight of Swords talks about really going after your ideas, really kind of, I want to say sort of forging the way ahead for your own inspiration to make way for your ideas, your goals and your objectives, right? The Knight of Swords comes in with his sword of truth in a way. He attacks every situation with mind, body, and soul, with all elements of himself, right? With all the fresh and clear intellect that he has. This is how he attacks the situation, with logic, with common sense, with fairness, with honesty, right? These are all a sort of the forward motion of the Knight of Swords, and how he comes into a scenario, the energy that he brings to a scenario, right? So this is very sort of truth seeker, right? The truth seeker, this is very sort of, and it's also in motion, in the sense that you're not waiting for this to come to you. You're not waiting you're not waiting for people to sort of give you what you're looking for. You're going after it, right? And certainly in communication, I'm going to say the Knight of Swords is this kind of energy that comes in and kind of cuts into the heart of an argument. So for instance, if you're arguing, or if you've been coming out of a period where communication has been a little bit rocky with your lover, or rocky just in general in your life, but certainly with your lover, Knight of Swords comes in a way, this energy will come in to sort of say, listen, enough is enough. Let's have brutal honesty here, right? But you're the initiator of that, because the Knight is, the Knight is the initiator. He's the forward energy of the suit in a way, certainly of the court cards. And so in a lot of ways, this has been your energy most recently. Now, this could be certainly in your love relationship, in the sense that if something has been going on in your love life where you feel as though you haven't had all the information, you're seeking it out. If somebody hasn't been completely forthright with you, or if there's been something that's been hidden for you, you're applying all of your skills, all of your mental acuity, to finding out the truth, to finding out what's really going on. You won't be satisfied until you know, right? Now you're moving forward into a Chariot, so it's quite interesting. Some of you may indeed be about to enter into a field that is an activist field. Certainly with the center, Six of Pentacles at the center, which is a card for charity. Some of you may be moving forward in this field. It may be a dream of yours, to sort of open up a center, open up a community center, or work on a project that deals with defending vulnerable people. Because Knight of Swords is also the great defender. He's the one who comes in a lot of ways, and he's the one who stands up to the bully, right? He's the my bodyguard character as well, right? Because of his moral sense and his code of ethics that he brings is so strong. He's unwilling really to see others sort of be mistreated, etc., right? And so this is the energy you're coming out of, but you're going into Chariot. So it's almost as if it's propelling you into a new path, a new stage. It could be a new career stage for you, right? Now, why is this impacting? Why is this coming out for a love reading? I often say that whenever we have a reading about your love life that doesn't seem to indicate the other individual, then what we're dealing with here, or the connection to the other individual, is that what we're dealing with here perhaps are some of the issues standing in the way of a connection. Remember what I said earlier over here, the Nine of Pentacles can indicate someone whose desire and goals and ambitious goals, career goals, right? Those choices for their life, while they are good choices for them, may have kept them alienated from closer relationships, right? And so for some of you, I almost wonder if there is room for love in your life right now. Is there room for a connection in your life right now? Because in the back of your head, I want to say that for some of you Libras, I'm going to say this is for single Libras. For some of you Libras, it's almost as if you've resigned yourself with this Five of Cups. It's like, you almost feel like, this, right now my luck has been so crap with relationships. I keep thinking about this last relationship, or a set of relationships that it was really painful, that ended in a really painful way. And so, I'm going to go ahead and forget about that side of my life. It almost feels like this card is so separate from the overall energy. And not that you forget about it, but you decide to now focus in on your career, your goal for your life, right? And this particular reading is for a Leo whose objective is to work with people. They have a charitable objective or an altruistic objective. Like I said, you may be working in the field of eradicating poverty or hunger. But whatever that is, whatever this goal or this ambition you have, it's strong. It's strongly connected to your heart. It's something you've always wanted for your life. And it's something certainly to do with helping the world, imparting your skill on the world. And I believe that some of you Leos have decided to sort of forsake a personal relationship because you've almost decided to give yourself over to the people, or give yourself over to the group that you're working for, the group that you're advocating for, or the goal that you're working on, right? It's quite interesting. And so I'm going to say also, now, some of you who are, an example could be if you have been dealing with someone, say you've been dating someone, Leo, and it's just, you know, it hasn't quite, you know, it's not like they swept you off your feet or whatever, right? It's just not enough, right? It's like, you'd rather be, unless somebody came along and swept you off your feet and got you to really forget about this sort of energy that you've been kind of holding on to a little bit, it's almost as if you're just not willing to deal with it. You're not willing to open yourself up to it. You'd rather focus your attention on your career goals right now. And for those of you who have gotten out of a recent painful relationship, this is probably the right thing for you to do. I'm going to pull out a few more cards. You know, so this is a very specific reading for single Libras out there who are, Leos out there who have, who've already been through a series of kind of heartbreaks and difficult relationships. And now is the time for you to kind of, you're like, nah, now's the time for me. Now's the time for my goals. Now's the time for me to do, to follow what my heart tells me to follow, to give myself over to the world. If I can't give myself over to a relationship, if the connection isn't going to be deep enough to make it worth my time and investment, then I'm not going to consider it. I'm not even going to open myself up to it. And right now, perhaps it's best if I just forget about it, about having having a deeper kind of love connection for the sake of working towards my career goals. Can also be for some of you Libras that you're just not going to be happy in a relationship until you get on this path, right? It's calling to you, you know. If I were pulling an animal spirit card, I would probably be pulling the wolf, you know, just the activist card. Certainly for people who are activists, who do work in altruistic sort of areas in the world in terms of helping humanity and helping the vulnerable, oftentimes they are married to that job, right? They are committed to that job above any other relationship. And I certainly feel like this right now is the reading for some of you Leos. And you're kind of happy with that. Although I'm going to say that if there was a love interest that came in that had everything that you wanted, I think you would take it. But right now, I just think that you are feeling so much like this is not going to happen. And so why should I continue to waste my energy on that when I can be forging ahead with my goals? Empress, Queen of Discs, there you go. Two of Wands and Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Discs, Queen of Swords, excuse me. All right, there we go, Queen of Swords. Now, this makes a lot of sense, these reaffirmation cards. Let's go through quickly. Of course, the Empress has come out because right now, what did I say? It's all about you nurturing yourself. This abundance that you have achieved, you've done it on your own, right? And so now and a lot of this may have been a lot of hard work in a particular area that didn't necessarily speak to your heart, but that made you a lot of money. And now it's time, now you feel like it's time for you to really put a lot more energy into your creative side, into the side of you that really, that I'm going to say into the path that speaks more to your heart. You may have indeed made money and been successful, but it's almost as if, okay, now you've reached this. Now you want to take this money, or take the money that you've made, right, the success like we see here, and you want to do something beautiful and creative with it that really speaks to your heart's ambition. Again, Empress talks about self-nurturing as well. Underneath Queen of Discs, again, yeah, you forsake the need of having another sort of traumatic relationship or painful breakup, and you decide. Queen of Discs talks about really, you know, pouring all of your nurturing and all of your emotions and time and effort into manifesting your goals, right? Into your baby, you know, and it's almost as if... because the queen is water, right? Queens are water. And so here we have the watery aspect of earth. And so rather than pour your heart out into empty relationships, you would rather pour your heart out into a particular goal that you know requires all of that in order for it to be successful anyway, right? It requires your whole being, and it requires your heart being put into it, your attention and your fire being put into it for you to achieve it. Two of Wands is covering that Knight of Swords. So again, this is about moving forward, right? Blazing a path, a righteous path, certainly with the Knight of Swords, but blazing a new path on an idea. So again, some of you may have made the money, and now you want to take that money and perhaps open something that is like a volunteer center, or something that, you know, you want to take that money and now forge ahead on another path. Right? Because Two of Wands is Mars and Aries energy. It's forging a path in new areas, right? So certainly some of you definitely have made your money, and now it's the time for you to sort of like, you know, follow your heart, follow what your heart has always wanted you to do. And Knight of Wands comes in, another knight to give you that support. Knight of Wands over the Chariot lets you know that you are about to really put your heart and mind and body and soul into something that is very, very, that you feel extremely passionate about. And I don't think that that is whatever job got you this money here, Leo, right? It's something else. And it's something that you perhaps will use your abundance to manifest, but it's not about making money. It's something that is, speaks to your heart. Something that you've always wanted to do, right? And nothing can really hold you back now, certainly with Knight of Wands energy behind you. All right, so Leos, this is for you single Leos who've decided enough is enough. Now, some of you Leos may have decided to leave a particular relationship because it is fizzled out, or has caused you misery, or is not where you wanted to be, for the sake of forging this path ahead. And if this is the case, then go for it, because this world, the world indication, this world card covering everything indicates that this is what you were meant to do. This path that you're about to engage on is what you were meant to do. It is in a way, your destiny. It's where you're supposed to be at in your life. And so don't worry too much about the fact, well, whether, I don't even see you worrying about it so much, but understand that it's okay, right? It's okay to go after that rather than to only concentrate on sort of your love connection, right? Sometimes it's okay to, anytime it's okay to forge the path you decide. But what I mean is that if you are doing something that is so close to your heart, for instance, you're working in Greenpeace, or if you're working for the Peace Corps, this is the type of thing I'm talking about, right? This is something that really speaks to your passion, your moral code, your spiritual center, right? And it's like, it's not a sacrifice, for those of you who are resonating, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice to give up relationships, or to give up certainly shallow relationships, in order to achieve this, because this achievement is so much greater certainly in your mind, it's so much greater, and it's certainly something that you were meant for. Again, this reading isn't going to be for all Leos. Okay, this is a very specific reading for a specific cross-section of you Leos out there that are going through this right now. And again, you may be leaving a particular relationship, have already left, but be in a process of leaving a particular relationship because it just isn't up to your level. It's not even like it's a heartbreak to leave this relationship. It's like it just can't compare to the joy you find here with this path. All right, guys, this is your reading for mid-October, Leo. I hope it resonated. Please like, subscribe, and share if it did. Go ahead and comment below, all right? If you're going through something like this, this is a pretty specific scenario for the middle of the month. And for right now, I'm going to say, Leo, have a wonderful, wonderful October, and I will see you in November for the November love reading. Take care now.